It is 6:30, so I will call to order the general meeting of the Board of Trustees on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. We will begin with roll call. Jen,
Here.
Heather,
Here.
Jane,
Here.
Julie,
Here.
Matthew, here, and Barb.
Here.
Oh, great. Welcome. Any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda? Hearing none, we will then move on to public comment. So a few guidelines before we begin. All remarks should be addressed to the whole board rather than to any individual trustee. And neither the board nor the director is expected to respond. This is your time to speak. To promote decorum and mutual respect, we're going to ask that members of the public refrain from displays of approval or disapproval, such as applause or laughter when a speaker is addressing the board. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. A trustee of the board, this evening will be Jen, will keep time. Please wait for her signal to begin. It's the responsibility of that board representative alone to notify a speaker when their time has expired. If the speaker does not give back the floor to the board, the chair will remind that person that they are out of order. It would also be out of order for someone else, another member of the public, to call for that speaker to stop. So please refrain from speaking during, before, or after someone else's public comment. Allow them their time and allow the chair to moderate. The chair also retains the right to stop any speaker who uses profanity or abusive language during their public comment. If the speaker has a request of the board, that should be made within the allotted 3 minutes. We'll begin this evening with Elsie Morrissey, and you can wait for Jen to nod and tell you it's your time.
Well, again, I have come to ask you to start your meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance as we begin the 250th year of our country. And we should be proud of our country. And saying the pledge is a way of showing pride in our country. And you are a taxpayer-funded organization, and that gives you an extra responsibility of service and pride. And I wanted to tell you, also, I was thinking, you could use this to build community in the library by having the Girl Scouts lead you with the pledge, or another T-ball team lead you with the pledge, and they could see what was going on at the library at the same time. It's a good thing. It is not a bad thing. And I have come many times, and I'm not the only person who's come, to ask you to show great pride in your country by starting your meetings with the pledge. Last Saturday, I went to the car show. It was a truck show or a tractor show or something at the fairgrounds. And at 11 o'clock, everyone stopped and they played the national anthem on a recording. And the whole place stopped and everybody put their hand over their heart as they were playing the national anthem. And I thought, wow, and everybody really felt better. It makes you feel good to do this. And I was so impressed by that. And that's not a taxpayer funded thing. I don't know, it's a private thing. And I'm asking you again. Also, I've done more research on this interlibrary loan thing. There is no validation to this rumor at all. It's not in the big, beautiful bill. There's nowhere that from Washington has any directive come that to make interlibrary loan in jeopardy. So be happy and trustworthy that this is a good thing that will stay with us. So that's all. I don't know if I. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Darren LaHood about this, and He says there's nothing to it.
Jen, can you close the door for us? Before we move on. Barb is willing to send information to anyone who would like it about the information we have on funding of IMLS. So if you're interested in knowing more of the facts, our director would be happy to send those to you. Next is Becky Clemens.
Hello. I've decided, oh, sorry. After hearing last month about how gay pride is getting worn out and whatever, I decided we'll just continue with gay pride for the rest of the year. And so a fun little statistic on gay marriage is that gay couples tend to have, reduced, divorce rates than heterosexual couples do. So that's a fun little fact. That was all I was gonna say, so thank you.
And next we will hear from Angie.
Good evening. I just attending. Thank you. I just wanted to let you know how enjoyable it is to come and attend these meetings, to hear the respect and the collegiality within this group of individuals. Makes me very proud to be a Sandwich resident. I've been attending city council meetings and it's a struggle for people to get things done because they're doing this instead of thinking about how we can work together. So I appreciate what you're doing for us as a community. We all have different ways of showing respect to people, to our country. It doesn't always just have to be a pledge. We listen to that our whole entire lives in schools and it's not always the message that we need. We need to have the message just that it's something that we live. You don't have to say it, you can just live it. So thank you for everything you do for our community. So appreciative. And have a great rest of July and we'll see you in August. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for those comments. We'll now move on to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move.
Thank you, Jen. Does anything need to be removed from the consent agenda before we, okay.
Edits on the minute.
Okay, then let's remove which minutes? General meeting of the board, June 10th?
Correct.
Okay, so let's remove general meeting of the board from the consent agenda. I also have a couple of questions about the fiscal year to date report, just for my own clarification, edification. So I'd like to remove the fiscal year to date report from the consent agenda as well. Anything else we'd like to take out of the consent agenda? All right, then do we have, we've got a motion to approve the consent agenda minus those two items. So all those in favor, we'll just take a voice vote. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda?
It has to be a roll call for the consent.
Thank you very much. We'll do a roll call. It's my first meeting, everyone. We'll do a roll call. So this is to approve the consent agenda. We'll begin with Jen.
Aye.
Heather.
Aye.
Jane.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
And Matthew, I say aye. All right, let's look at the general meeting of the Library Board of Trustee minutes from June 10th, 2025. So do we have a motion to approve these? Thank you, Jen. So we're going to move to approve those minutes. And then I believe Julie wants to make a motion to amend them. Is that correct?
The June 10th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what amendment would you like to make?
Not my first time making. However, it does have to do with roll call and voice vote. I think
Okay.
I just labeled them wrong.
Okay,
It's funny when you're writing them and then you don't look at them for and then they're blaring, I did that. All right, so June 10th. It's a roll call. Oh, roll call is when we say our names, right?
that's correct.
Okay, so,
Mhm.
and it has to do with, okay,
I'm going to pull these.
so I just labeled the motion that Matthew made for the board meeting date ordinance with correction of dates. That doesn't need to be a roll call. That's a voice vote. And I wrote 7, but I called it roll call.
So you want to change under item
New business.
7.
Yeah,
Okay, new business, yeah, yep, I gotcha. So you're changing roll call vote to voice vote. Okay,
and then, new business 7B would
Mhm.
be a voice vote.
voice vote instead of roll call vote.
Mhm.
All right,
And
C as well.
yes,
Did we, okay,
there was a 7. And then you approve the working budget should be a roll call vote. I just labeled them wrong.
yeah, okay.
We did them right. I was just labeling.
Mm-hmm. So that's for the working budget, you said, to
Mhm.
we're changing from voice call to roll call. All right,
Oh, we did them all wrong. 8 committee reports
yeah,
should be a voice vote
under D,
under D.
okay. So roll call being changed to voice vote.
Mhm. And how about the adjournment?
That looks great.
Control's voice vote. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion to make those amendments. All those in favor of making those amendments, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, so then we have the motion on the floor is to approve them as amended. All those in favor of approving those minutes as amended, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. And those minutes are approved. That'll take us then to fiscal year to date document. I just have a question for Barb that I would like to understand before I vote on that, which is on the third page under total income. Our income was listed 482,000, but expected was 750. Can you tell me about that? I just didn't understand.
So it has to do with when the county distributes the levy funds to
Okay.
the states. It's split between 2 fiscal years. So you get
Oh.
one in May and June, and you get another in September, like July, September time. So
Okay.
it's always split that way.
Okay.
That's why
Okay.
that came out kind of funky.
So, but the one we receive in September will be for the new fiscal year.
Correct.
So that number won't change on this?
Well, next month, you're gonna get a brand new fiscal year to date because we're in a new fiscal year.
Mhm.
So this one is currently covering the budget from July 2024 to June 2025.
Mhm.
And next month, I will provide one that's just covering July.
Okay. But that's a pretty big gap between if we only receive 64% of the income we expected, is that true?
Because the rest of it comes, it backdates from the previous year. So like
Oh.
the 2023, when we got certain funds hit in 2024. Because does that make sense? Like so anything that every levy distribution that occurs in in calendar year 2025 is
Mhm.
attributed to our levy from last year. So that's
Okay.
technically funding for this full year, for our fiscal year that runs through June. So the money that we received in May and June of this year
Mhm.
is technically money that we're supposed to use for fiscal year 25-26.
Okay.
And so it goes backwards that same way. If you'd like, I can show you the distribution reports from the counties, and the way that they deposit funds as well is wonky because they're all different amounts. One time we'll get like $5,000, and another time we're gonna get like $365,000.
Okay.
So they're all different, but if you'd like for clarity, I can show you those distribution reports and show you how they break it down.
Yeah. So I think I'm tracking, but I guess my question is, will that be will we end up with 100% of what we budgeted for?
It won't show that way in these QuickBook reports because of our fiscal year, but the auditors in the audit presentation in September would
Okay.
show the full report of the
Gotcha.
money that we'd received.
Good, thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else have questions about that or? Okay. Do we have a motion to, I'm sorry, I should have entertained a motion to approve this before I held discussion, but do we have a motion to approve fiscal year to date report for? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion now that I've been already discussed? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, so those opposed, same sign. Excellent, and we will approve those as well. Okay, that's gonna move us to old business. Barb can take it away.
Yes, so first category is emergency action guide progress. And for this month, I included the inventory chapter, emergency HVAC shutoff procedures, and checklists for building maintenance and pre and post storm situations. So those are done. And then I'm hoping that I'll be able to present a first full entire finished draft in August is my plan. So we're almost there. Does anybody have questions on the emergency action guide? Excellent. So we'll move on to the next category, which is the IMLS funding cuts update, to which, as you reiterated earlier, I am more than happy to review or talk to email. We can set up an appointment in person to go over all of the things that are happening with IMLS. I can send you linked Washington, DC articles that show where the budget comes out and how this could be cut. I've sent that to different patrons already in the past. I have all of it collected. There has been no movement as far as I know, and as far as the IMLS advocacy page states on the Rails website since May. So I think that's just kind of in a flux right now. It's kind of sitting stationary. There have been talks with Julianis and Governor Pritzker, to direct more funding from the state to assist libraries to maintain these programs, which is very, very helpful. So it is possible that the Rails delivery will still continue, but it would no longer potentially be funded through the IMLS federal grants. I do have, like I mentioned, a direct document from the White House that dictates this budget, and I can highlight it for you and show you everywhere where that is. So if anybody has any questions about that, right now, I'm happy to answer. And if you'd like me to send that link out, I'm happy to do that as well.
Can I just ask a point of clarification?
Sure.
That the concept, the ability, the service of interlibrary loan isn't being attacked or affected. The problem is the funding to provide interlibrary loan
Correct.
is at risk. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Which is enveloped in a larger system.
Yes.
It's not that, yes, yeah.
Is that office still shut down, the ILMS?
The last that I read about it was some of the employees were allowed to come back into the office, but they had no computers or hardware. So I have no idea what they're doing with that.
Okay.
So the current situation is that we're continuing on. There's regular deliveries that are happening for us
Yes.
at this moment.
Last month, I had attended a webinar with the director of Rails. Her name's Monica, and she stated that that the IMLS budget was approved federally to continue the money flow through September of this year. Post September, it's still an unknown, but there are local state legislation where they're working towards making sure that we can have money to maintain the delivery system because they don't want that disrupted either. And I know that Rails has some money in savings that they were going to use if necessary to continue delivery until a more permanent solution was made. And again, there's an IMLS advocacy page on the Rails website, which is just railslibraries.org. And then you just search IMLS advocacy And they have a timeline of all of the events from when the executive order was signed to defund IMLS through the process up to current date of what has changed, what has happened, what's occurring.
Thank you for providing that information to us and to our community. That'll move us then on to the director's report, which Barbara will take us through as well.
Yes. So first I want to talk about the windows replacement. I'm happy to report we've had a lot of heavy rain and the brand new windows have not leaked, not even one whole drop. So they did a really good job. And I would like to move forward with the process to start installation for the second bay, because that bay is still leaking. We're watching and maintaining it. And I know that the trim doesn't match, it's not painted. And I wanted to wait to do that until we get that second bay completed as well, so we can get everything done in one fell swoop. So I wanted to discuss this with the board because if we want to move forward with getting the quotes and potentially approving this job to be done this year, if they're available, we can wait for the trim painting. But if they're not available for the rest of this year and it would have to wait till spring, which is what happened to this year, would you want me to paint the trim or would you still want me to wait, since that's an extended 6-month period roughly? Any thoughts?
I didn't even notice the trim didn't match.
Excellent.
Maybe that would be a facilities committee conversation.
Okay.
I would be, because I think Nancy would want to weigh in on that and she's not here with us, so I would say add that would be my 2 cents.
Okay.
Could go on an agenda for facilities. Is that Julie? Are you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
fine.
feel like that's
No,
a
that's a
good
good
move?
idea.
Okay.
But is everybody okay with me moving forward to get the quote? Sure.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I noticed that we still, in looking at the financial report, we still have a chunk of money that is designated as, I forgot what the name of it was. It's specifically looking at all my paper here. Grant fund construction grant. We still have a $24,000 in there and it's like, all right, I think that was kind of left over from building the buildings, so we might consider at some point when we're ready to really talk about this seriously, using that money and getting it out of the system there and seeing that it is specifically construction grant. So
Yeah.
that might be something that building and grounds could talk about and could bring that, and knowing that it took quite a while for us to get on A and B's calendar. That would seem that we would want to have something in the fall, I would think. So
That's my
yeah,
thought
the
too.
sooner you have a building and grounds meeting to talk about it.
It's a good thing we got it in with A and B exteriors.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
All right, sounds good. I will have an update next month and I will plan a building and grounds meeting between that time.
That'd be great.
Moving forward.
Okay.
So last month I showed the draft for the budget and appropriations budget, and I have since published the public notice in the Kendall County, LaSalle County, and DeKalb County papers. So we are in that 30-day window currently that is required by law to have that document be accessible for public viewing. And we will have a hearing at 6:15, 15 minutes before the regular board meeting is supposed to start next month for a public hearing for the budget and appropriations. And then once that concludes in the regular board meeting, we will be approving the budget and appropriations ordinance there. Any questions? Excellent. Community project EV charging stations. Coming back to that from last month, everybody asked me to collect more information and I was able to meet with ComEd and have them look at our site to see if we were a good site for the EV charging stations. And there were a couple things that we discussed, which they don't believe that our electrical box has the power to support the stronger units. So no matter what, we'd have to get the smaller the units that don't conduct as much electricity, so it would take longer for cars to charge. Does that make sense? Okay, and then they also said that the purpose of this grant money that they received to provide these EV charging stations was that they really wanted it to be like curbside visually, so that people could see it and provide easy access to it. They thought we could potentially get away with it because of the neighborhood street and Vale right here, because that's technically curbside. But that's pretty much what they told me. I did request if they could send me some more information based off of the questions that everybody posed. I did record the conversation, so I have it available if anybody wants to listen to it. They could manipulate the time. So Nancy posed a question last month about whether people could just come at 2 a.m. and sit in the library parking lot and charge their cars. We would have control over not allowing the machines to be accessible through that time. So we could determine when we wanted those hours. Second, in terms of the electric cost, the library would have nothing to do with that. That would all be paid for on site by the people paying for the electric, just like at a gas station. The library would funnel none of that electric cost. I did also ask if they would be willing to come to a board meeting to speak, because I feel like I'm a third person in this party, and I would rather have a representative who is well-defined in this, be able to answer all of your questions way better than I could relay them. So if everybody is still interested in this, and if there's still time left, would you want me to pursue that? Or is this something that everybody is still hesitant on? And maybe we just want to say no. The city did approve the EV charging stations over there on the downtown strip. But there has been some public feedback from that. There are people who like it and people who don't like it. So
But there is still a fee that you described last month.
there would be, yeah, the maintenance costs and the network costs.
I think I'm still reluctant with, even just their comment about our electric system, being able to support the lower charging, their preference that it's visible from the curb. I don't know, my 2 cents. I'm not interested in pursuing further. Well, if the city wants to try it and see how it goes, then maybe down the road, but others are way in.
I agree with her. I
Okay.
think if we can't get the higher voltage, if our system isn't set up for that, I don't think we're going to be as necessary as maybe the city is.
Well, and I still go back to the money, even for the units or whatever, is that the best use of funds for the community at large?
I think the fact that the city has approved it, to me, that's the type of organization that could be and should be adopting this. I'm not quite sure the connection between our being community minded. Yes, we are a library, but it kind of falls outside of this, kind of in this odd resource for the community. The city, that is the city is providing service to
Almost like
all the people in the community. The city, they provide the water and the sewer and so, electric charging stations, it seems like another service. I think it kind of falls outside of the realm of what we're all about here. That's my 2 cents.
Anybody else?
I hear that, and especially with their feedback that maybe we're not an ideal location. I don't know that it's worth pursuing any further. My question would be, could we have include the city's information on the website? So again, being the hub of information, can we promote that, even on socials and celebrate that and and then have that as a continued piece of information for our community, so that people know there is access to it. That would be something we could do without any cost, you know,
Yeah.
to promote that. And who knows what the future will hold. So,
Okay, I feel like we've reached a consensus and we have clarity that we won't pursue this further at this time, which is fine with me. And one of the goals for this fiscal year is to work on a strategic plan, and my goal for that is to get a community-wide survey put out, and that could just be a question, how to ask, like, would you be interested in this service being provided by the library, so we can get more feedback from the community, because there was no real way in our short time frame for me to collect anything that would really be sufficient. So that could just be a question we throw in there, see what it looks like, and go from there. But for now, we'll table that and move on. Sound good?
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Excellent. All right. Next, annual evaluations with all staff have been completed, and all the information has been sent to Newkirk. So it's all done. And any questions?
When you say the information sent to Newkirk, you mean with new pay?
Correct.
Okay.
Next, Prairie Cat Admin Council update. All right, so I do serve as a member on the Prairie Cat Administrative Council. Does everybody here know what that is? Yeah, okay.
Kind of.
Okay, so Prairie Cat is our consortium. So they essentially help manage all of the consortium-based business that all of the libraries in this portion of Illinois serve. So that's over 100+ libraries, and once a quarter, so 4 times a year, we have to go to a delegates meeting where directors visit and everybody votes on big business items. So salary approvals for Prairie Cat staff, budgets for Prairie Cat, new thing like the mobile app. Everybody had to vote for the mobile app, see if you wanted to be part of it, intergovernmental agreements, that kind of business. So it's consortium business. I was reached out to from Emily Faulkner, who's the director of DeKalb Library, to see if I'd be interested in serving on the council. And I said yes, and I was elected onto that council. And as of last month, apparently I've also been elected to be the essentially what would be the vice chair. So I'm like the vice president of the Prairie Cat Admin Council now.
Whoa.
So yay, exciting and very scary, but mostly exciting. Yeah, so I'm the vice chair now. And so that means next year I'll become the chair and I will help run the delegates meetings. There's going to be a lot of interesting new developments and things in the professional side of the consortium, but I'm really excited about it, and I really like working with all of the wonderful directors and the Prairie Cat staff. They've really done incredible things, and it's fun to be part of the planning process for that.
Where do you go for that, Barb?
They're all over, so that's a beautiful
Your
thing
meetings?
too. Yes, they try to be cognizant and respectful of all of the libraries in their consortium. So every meeting we have at a different library all around. So sometimes I'm driving an hour 45 to a meeting, and sometimes I host it. So it's all over the place. This Friday, we have a meeting, and it's in Byron. So we'll be going to the Byron
So you
Library.
get to see a lot of different libraries.
I get to see a lot of different
Nice.
libraries, learn a lot of things that they're doing.
Nice.
Which is quite fun. So I just wanted to share that.
That's
Alright.
wonderful.
You go, girl.
And lastly, just a note, a friendly reminder that our audit is happening in September. We usually get that done. So I will be poking some of our officers for the secretary's audit and the treasurer's reports and things like that we normally do every year for the audit. And I am planning to continue moving forward with the same company, Hopkins and Associates, that we've used the last 2 years. I feel like they've done a pretty good job. And just wanted to put that note out there. Does anybody have questions on that? Excellent.
Thank you. That'll move us to new business. We'll begin with our annual FOIA/OMA trainings. Tell us what you know about that, Barb.
Just the note for every year, I ask that the board go through the FOIA and OMA trainings so that all the information remains fresh in everybody's mind. Make sure that we're following procedure and all the rules for the Open Meetings Act in particular. So just a note, if anybody needs help logging into the portal, let me know, but it should still have the same registration credentials that you used last year. And you should receive certificates once the trainings are completed, and you can send them over to me when you're done, so I can keep them in the files.
Will you have
And-
an X by Y on that? When we need to have it done?
No, just I would say sometime in the next few months. Yeah,
Will you send us the links to?
yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, that would be just fine. That would be great.
Probably Nancy Schroeder will need a training on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, next up, we have an action item to approve to transfer Old National account funds to Illinois funds at maturity and close Old National account. Talk us through that, Barb.
So I hope all of you got an opportunity to look at the Illinois Fund Statement.
Do you need a motion first before we discuss it?
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. Does someone want to does anyone want to make a motion to?
I'll move.
Okay, Heather moves to approve to transfer Old National 7014 funds to Illinois funds at maturity and close Old National account. Want to discuss that?
Yes.
Through that?
So if you got a chance to look at the Illinois Funds Statement, it is representative of the huge benefit that we were anticipating. This is covering I believe it's 4 closed accounts that we recently transferred over, CD funds that were coming to maturity. And instead of rolling them over, we closed those accounts and transferred that money into Illinois funds to see what it would look like. We have a huge amount in there now. And if you look at the interest gained, we've already gained $400 to $500 just from that initial transfer in 1 month. So that's a huge deal. And so next we have another CD closing, or rather coming to maturity at the end of July. And it has I think this one has over $100,000 in it. So I would like the approval from the board, because the board just approved the original accounts to do the original transfers. So that's why I wanted to do this. And then also to discuss what we want to do with the general savings account, but that I'd like to save for a finance committee discussion. But for now, we can move the CD funds over.
Okay, any questions? Any questions or discussion?
And then the
Um,
$20,000 would come from that, the $20,000
Yes.
transferring.
Mhm.
It's noted over to the right-hand column of the account listing.
Correct. So my plan for that is, in order to close these accounts, I have to transfer them into our primary checking first. And then from there, since that account is connected to the Illinois funds, that's where I move the rest of it over.
Okay.
So I would just deduct that total by the 20,000 that was already approved to stay out.
My apologies. I didn't understand that.
So if you're looking at the account listing,
Uh-huh,
the Old National 7014 account,
yeah,
way over to the right, we had
Mhm.
already approved to transfer $20,000 from that at maturity for Barb to use for the microfilm project.
oh, for the microfilm project.
Right.
Got it, okay. Oh, I was adding it to FNBO2 savings, I'm not sure. Okay, all right, thank you, that explains it. Just read the words that are there, don't put any extras in, it'll make sense. Okay, any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Jen?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Jane?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Matthew, I say aye. All right, our next action item is to approve the fiscal year 25 to 26 non-resident fee policy. Do we have a motion to approve the 25-26 fiscal year non-resident fee policy? I think I saw Jane's hand raised.
Oh, I do raise my hand.
I'm not making that up, right? Okay.
I'll move to approve the fiscal year 2025-2026 non-resident fee.
All right, wonderful. Any discussion or questions? I was amazed to see that in the world where every cost is going up, it's going down by $3 and some cents.
Yeah.
For non-residents to be a card holder at the library.
And nobody will ever use it.
And we still don't have any, right? We still don't have any.
No, we're technically not eligible because the way the district lines are right
Oh,
now.
that's right.
But I like to have this, and Braille's requests that we have this
Mhm.
always, so
Mhm.
we keep it up to date.
Good. Any other questions or discussion? All right, I think we can do voice vote on policy, is that true? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, that also passes. Committee reports, do we have anything from building and grounds? No meeting. Finance, no meeting. Personnel,
Yes, just a note that we had our second meeting with Barb for her evaluation review the day after our last board meeting, so you all should have received some discussion point documents that on Barb's evaluation. And the other thing I just wanted to mention is that, and I think I've mentioned this before, that all of our evaluation discussions are on the recorder. Board members are in, entitled to listen to the recorder. Matthew has a key and Julie has a key for the recording. If you ever want to listen to those, they were, they're always kind of fun and interesting and very. I think we all were very proud of the evaluation this year with Barb. So I hope you had a chance to review some of those discussion points. If you had any questions, open to those, and questions for Barb if you have them. We did decide that Barb's goals for this year would be that she would continue to work on the emergency action guide, which has been a huge endeavor. And I think it, when she took it on last year as a goal, I believe that, I had no idea it was going to be so expansive. And I think you probably didn't either. Once, you went down the rabbit hole. You found that there were a lot of things to be involved with that. So she will be continue to work on that through the end of this year, and then in the new year, starting in January, be ready to work on the capital improvement plan and the strategic plan. So I think I got all that right, Barb?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
excellent.
Any questions on? Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Policy committee also did not meet, and we have no executive session this evening. So means it's my job to tell you that we will have a special meeting of the Library Board of Trustees for the budget and appropriations hearing on Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6:15 p.m. And then the general meeting of the Library Board of Trustees will take place, say, the evening, Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Thank you, Jane. Roll call, voice vote
For 7:30.
for 7:13. We'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We are done.
Very well.